Today, what we are going to present is how to build a module in Odoo. First of all, I would like to introduce who we are. We are Cybrosys Technologies. We are working with Odoo for around 10 years now. And we have served many companies, many clients across countries. So let's get into the subject. In Odoo, as you all know, I hope everyone is knowing a little bit of Python and Postgres, those kind of basic things that we need for this session. Otherwise, it will be a little bit difficult for them, but they can catch up because we are mainly looking for the basic structure and how we can develop a module in Odoo. Since all the things that we have in Odoo is built as modules. It can add a new business logic into Odoo or a new feature or small extension as an existing feature into Odoo, or anything that can be added into Odoo should be a module. Let's see what we are going to discuss in this webinar. First, we will check with the development environment, what IDE we are using and kind of things, and how we can build a module, and basic things like what are the things that we have in a module, and the structure of the module, and object relation mapping, fields, data files, action and menus, this kind of things. And later we will go to the basic views, relation between models, inheritance, those kind of things that you can see on the screen. Domains, field and computer fields and defaults, on change functions, model constraints, advanced reviews like cohort kind of things, security, wizards, internationalization, that means the translation of your module, and reporting, and web services. Okay, these are things that we are planning to present before you in this webinar. So let's directly go to the subject. Okay, let's see what are the things. The Odoo development environment. Okay, so we are using PyCharm application for Odoo related customization and development works. In this webinar, we are also using the PyCharm. Here, this is the icon of the PyCharm, and you can, in Ubuntu, you can install this application from this Ubuntu Software Center. PyCharm has a community edition and a professional edition and an educational edition also. So it's a paid one. The professional edition is a paid one. Otherwise, the community is a free version. Educational is also free for use. So you can use either whatever you want based on your usages. Professional edition have a lot of more functionalities than the community edition. So I'm just skipping this part. And then we need Odoo that you can download from Odoo GitHub or Odoo's website. Then how we can open a Odoo in PyCharm, that's what we are going to see now. This PyCharm application is a little bit heavy, but it's a good platform. You can use Visual Studio Code or any other IDEs to develop Eclipse or any other IDEs to develop Odoo modules, but it's a good one. That's why we are using it. So using this open option, you can open a project. We are already added 2 projects here, Odoo 13 and Odoo 12. So you can browse your computers and you can select the folder that you have downloaded, Odoo source code folder that you have downloaded, and click on OK. Then it will add into the project. That's all we have to do to open a project in PyCharm. Then the next thing what we have to do is we have to configure this application so that we can run the application using the PyCharm and debug the application when we do the development. Okay. So here what I have open is a Odoo Enterprise version. We have the enterprise source code here and other things, and I have my add-ons folder also. I will come to that part after we go through all these sections. Okay. So at the first, you will have an edit configuration option here. So we need to set up our application so that you can run this thing. So in the Debian folder, when you download the Odoo, you will have a Odoo conf file here. It's a very simple configuration file with a very basic data. It will have admin password is commented, DB host, DB port, DB user, DB password kind of things, and add-ons path. If you want, you can copy this and paste somewhere, or you can use the same itself by editing it. Now what I have done is I make 2 copies of that Odoo conf. One is odoo.conf and odoo.e.conf. So I will explain why I need these 2. Okay. So I'm posting this Odoo conf under the Debian file. So this one is just having the add-ons path, home, and the username, Odoo 13, and add-ons. Okay, this is the add-ons path that I'm using for this configuration. And under Odoo E, that I represents for Odoo Enterprise, we have the add-ons and Enterprise, and this one is our customization purpose. We will get into that part. Okay, so this add-ons path have the 2 add-ons folder, the add-ons folder, add-ons, and the Enterprise. And you can see there's a difference in the XML RPC port 8013. You can see here it's a 8113. So I just put this like to notify which port is Enterprise and which port is running Odoo community version. So here we don't have the Enterprise code. So the service that using this configuration file will be community version, and the service that using this configuration file will be the Enterprise edition of Odoo. So community will be running in 8013 and Enterprise will be running on 8113. So I just put the 113013 to the parity check kind of things. Okay, so it's mark as that one represent the Enterprise. So it's my basic idea. That's all. You can use your own methods to differentiate the port, the convenient port that you want to use. So we have the conf now configuration file. So what you can do is you can either edit this file or copy this file into the Odoo directory, and you can edit these contents. Okay, then you have the configuration file. Then what you have to do is you have to set up this configuration, debug or run configuration. So here I'm putting the script path. Script path is a script that we have receiving while we download the Odoo code. So you can see that here we have the Odoo 13. Under that Odoo 13 folder, we have this Odoo bin. This is the script file that we have for Odoo. So this is common for enterprise and community. So you maybe know that the enterprise is just some additional add-ons that we can use upon Odoo community. So there won't be any other structural or the other script or configuration file or kind of things needed for the enterprise. It's just a bunch of additional features, modules that provides additional features. And here you can see I mentioned the script path that we can, if you want to opt your own, you can choose like this. Okay, you can see Odoo 13 and you can browse through your directories and select the script file. Then you have to mention the parameters. So here what I did is, we have already mentioned the parameters in our conf file. So I just mentioned the name of that conf file with a C. So it represents the conf file and odoo e.conf. So this one, Odoo 13e, is using the Odoo 13e conf that we created for running the enterprise code, the project directory and other environmental variables, and which Python interpreter we are using, those kind of things that we provide details. And that's enough. If you have multiple, if you are working on multiple projects, you may need different services like this, configuration like this. So if you are having a trading ERP development and a manufacturing ERP development at the same time, or you are managing two different projects at the same time, you can have different configuration and different configuration files, and in the different configuration file you can mention different add-ons path. Okay, so now we have three different configuration file. We are mainly using this one for this webinar, Odoo 13 Enterprise Edition. Then you can just click on this run icon. You can see the application, its log and everything. So this is the conf file we are using, and these are the add-ons path that we have mentioned in this add-ons path file. Then the port number that we are using. Okay, so in the browser we can check. Yes, it's already done. So at the first time, if you are doing this first time, there won't be any database created. So I have two databases in my system. That's why the system is directly going to the last login database. So it will be a create database window. There you can create your database by providing the details like database name, username, password, and the country kind of things. Then you can log into. You will be directly log into the database as an admin user. So now we already have a database in Odoo 13 Enterprise. Just log into that database. There are some only few applications are installed in this database. I'm not going to the functional side of how we can install the application, those kind of things. We are mainly focusing on this development, and we only have 3 days. We have a lot of things to look into. Okay, so this is how the PyCharm we can run the application, the Odoo, using the PyCharm. And using the PyCharm, we can also debug the application using this one. The same configuration you use it, you can click on this button and plus F8 to step down into the different stages, like going into this data, each line and kind of things using this button, using debug button. Okay, now we are. I hope you got how we can use the PyCharm and open a project and run the Odoo application in the PyCharm. Now, next part what we are going to discuss is we are getting into the Odoo modules. So everything, as I said earlier, everything that we have in Odoo is modules. So in Odoo we will have a add-ons directory, and in that add-ons directory, each directory will be a module. So what are the things that we need for a module? To make a module, what are the things we need? So the components that we need for a module is views, that means the object views, business objects. Business objects means the classes. We declare them as Python classes. We can say the tables that we have in our application. Like in a school school management application, we will need teachers, students, classes, those kind of tables, those kind of objects. That we call as business objects. And object views are UI definition, user interface definition of those business objects. How this those elements, those business objects will be shown in this user interface of Odoo. Like we have different views, different type of views, like form view, tree view, graph view, Kanban view. We have different type of views in Odoo. And another component of the application is a module is data files. So what are the data files? Simply XML or CSV files for that we can use to declare metadata. It can be views or reports, configuration data, demonstration data, and many other things that we can use. Security details we can add as CSV or XML files. So these things are called data files. And then next part is web controllers. Web controllers are used to handle requests from web browsers. These are the main components that we need for a Odoo module. Okay. So in the module structure, here let's go into our PyCharm. Here you can see here there are some files that we use as web controllers. Okay, and this is the accounting module, the basic accounting module of Odoo. And we have, you see under the accounting, we have a lot of directories and some small files here, and I will explain this. And there is a data directory. This all these files are XML data that we mentioned in the data files. And demo, you can see the XML. Demo account, and there's a doc files. It's a translation data and models. Under the models, we have the Python files where we define our business objects. And reports, security, we have the XML and CSV. as we mentioned, the data files. And static datas. Static datas are another component that we use for saving images, CSS, and JavaScript kind of files that we used to use for web interfaces or websites. Okay, and test cases we have in this test folders, and views are the object views that we mentioned. The definition of business objects, how it will be appeared or displayed in the user interface, everything that we define under the views folder. And the wizard are different kind of models, like pop-up windows. When we take a report or something, we will have a different condition to give, like from date to date and based on a customer or sort by, these kind of things that we give in a pop-up window. And then after that, this data will be discarded. After generating the report, this data, this selection won't be saved in the database. Those kind of purpose we use this wizard. And init file and manifest file, these are the components that we have just mentioned. So each module is a directory within an add-ons path. So as you can see, you may have noticed in our conf file, we put the add-ons and enterprise as our add-ons path. Each folder under this add-ons path directory is a module. So just like any other Python packages, every add-on will have a every module will have a init.py file. This will contains import functions of other various Python file inside this module. So this all the Python files will be connected through this import file from .import controllers. So the controller will have a init file. In that init file, it will be importing, onboarding, and portal. You can see this import and portal. So this is how all these Python files are connected. And the manifest file is declaring. This is the file that declares the add-on. We can also call as modules. So this module, the account module, the name is invoicing, and the version number, summary, a sequence, description, and a lot of things. And the category of that module, the website, images that we use in this module, dependence, in which module we are depending on this module, and data files that we are using, and everything is declared under this manifest file. So these file, the init.py and manifest files, are very important. So this is the structure of a module. Now, how we can create our own module? Now we are going to create our own module. So for saving my own custom modules, I create a new folder under this add-on Odoo directory. It's called my add-ons. Okay, so if I want to add these modules that I am using, I have to mention this add-ons directory also in this conf file. Otherwise, it will not be added into the Odoo. So I have to add this my add-ons directory to my add-ons path. Okay, that's why when we open this odoo e.conf file, there is a this path is given. So I already put this my add-ons path in my add-ons path directory of Odoo enterprise configuration, so that the system will check for the add-ons that I have under my add-ons directory. So if you are confused about the structure or kind of things, there is an easy way that we can use to make Odoo itself will create a structure for it. So that command is called Scaffold Command. I can show you how we can create a module structure. So this is already in Odoo 13 directory. So I'm just going to this command. Now we have Python 3 Odoo bin scaffold. This is the command. This is our script file that you can see here, Odoo bin, and scaffold command is used. Then next thing what we have to give is the name of the module. So I'm just putting my module for this presentation, and where you want to place this module. So we already have a my add-ons folder, this kind of custom add-ons. So I'm putting my add-ons. Now let's see what happened. See, this my module is created under this my add-ons directory. Now you can see all these basic structures are already generated by Odoo. So what you have to do is you have to change some kind of things, some manifest. Under the manifest, it will be your module's name if you have given your module's name here, and other things, description, kind of summaries, author, and the website, this category, these kind of things that you have to just change this at these values. And you can see that depends on the base module of Odoo, and data basic things are given: view, views.xml, template.xml, demo as a demo.xml file. And if you are using any security access control kind of things, then security is already given, it's commented. And you can see the basic files are already given: views, templates, and under the security you have ir.model.access.csv. It's an example how you can add these things. You can refer these things to create your own security files and views kind of things. So models, under the models you have the models. You see Odoo import models, my module, name my module.my module. It's a common structure that we use. So using this command, you can create a basic module structure. Okay, if you are not comfortable with all these, if I don't want all these things, then I have to remove all these things and I have to work again. So I can just create a module with a init.py and manifest file, and just put my own folders. You can create manually. Okay, you can create manually if you don't want to use this option. So I'm just deleting this module because we are creating Open Academy module that I have already configured here. I will explain that module for you. So I'm just deleting this one. Then next thing that we are going to discuss is object relational mapping. We already mentioned that we already explained that what is a object, what is a business object. So I told you that there will be, in a school management application, there will be students, classes, teachers, those kind of object will be there. So how we can connect those objects? That's what the object relation. So in the object relation, there is a layer called Odoo ORM layer, called the ORM layer. It avoids having, you don't need to write a lot of queries, as in a traditional programming. You used to write queries for fetching data and saving data into the database, kind of things. In Odoo's case, everything is handled by object relation, this ORM layer. So we can just declare our business objects as Python classes, extending this model. There is a model object which integrates everything into the automated persistent system that they Odoo have built in the ORM layer. So we can just define or configure a business object by setting a number of small attributes to their definition. We can see in this is the model. Here, this model is Odoo automatically created when I created this my Open Academy module by using the scaffold method. So they put the name Open Academy.Open Academy. It's a very important attribute, and this Open Academy object is extending this model object that Odoo already defined in its ORM layer. Okay, so there will be many attributes that are copied from this model object, and this object will have other fields like name, value to description. It's a basic simple example that they have auto-generated when we use this scaffold method. So what we have is the fields and the name and some objects and dependence fields, kind of things. And the common attribute that we have for a model is field. For a field is the name. So for the model, we have given the name, and we can have different attributes like inherit, kind of things. We will discuss that later. So first we are going with the basic things so that it won't confuse you. Okay, and we have different fields. Okay, different kind of fields, character fields, integer fields, float fields. So these fields also have some common attributes, like a name. You can the name is the fields.char, and then the compute store. You can see this compute is equal to value.pc and store is equal to true. Those are some of the attributes. There are other attributes like string that you can use for the label. So how the label of the field that we see in the user interface, that means the name that visible for the users. And required is Boolean option. You can put as true or false for a value for that attribute, so that it will make the field as mandatory. You cannot leave this field as empty if you set the required attribute as true. And help you can use for provide a tooltip for that option, like what you have to fill, what the purpose of this data that you are going to fill in this column or this field, those kind of things that you can give it the help. So and the index to create a database index, it's also a Boolean field. And some reserved fields will be there, like in traditional application, when you develop an application, you will add ID kind of fields for unique keeping the unique identification number. You will add unique IDs. In Odoo, you don't have to do that, because these ID, created date, created user ID, write date, write user ID, these kind of things are already reserved, and every table will have those columns. These data will be automatically handled by Odoo itself. So now what we are going to do is, we don't need this table. We are creating our own object that's called the course. So what we do is, we extended the model and put our class name as course, and put a name, openacademy.course. The description attribute of the model, we give an Open Academy courses. If you didn't give any description, the Odoo application will throw a warning in your log. It is always better to give a description for your model. So what we are going to do is, we are creating a model course under our Open Academy module. So this course will have a name, a title and a description. The course must have a title. That's why we put record is equal to true, and the string will be the title. So the name is the name of the field is name, but in the user interface it will show as title. Okay, we can check that in the user interface after we have set up the basic things that we need. Now we have set up the course. Now what we have going to do is, we are adding some demonstration data. We need some basic data in this table. So how we can do that? That's what we are going to do next. So we have this course, this model.py. If you are we already used the scaffold method, that's why we have all this structure. Otherwise you will have to create this model.py file under this model file and model folder, and you will have to mention this under this from.import the init.py file. You have to mention it as from.import.models. Otherwise this file will not be recognized by Odoo. Okay, it is just like any other Python packages. We use the same method. So you have to import this models.py file in this init.py, and this model directory should be imported in this main init.py file that we have under the Open Academy directory. Okay, that's how the connection works. So now we have the model defined under this models.py. Now I'm going to add some demo data into that table. Okay, so again, I'm clearing some default data that is generated by Odoo scaffold method. This is the basic structure of the demo data XML file. We discussed about data files in our module components. So this is a data file that will add some data into our course table. So you can see the record model openacademy.course, ID is course 0, field name, the course 0. I hope you remember the name of the fields, the name and description. Okay. So what we are doing is we are providing some data as XML elements into Odoo along with our module. Okay, so that we have some demo data when we install the application. Okay, so there is an option, you may know that without we can create the database without demo data, and we can create table with the demo data. So this demo data will be loaded if you choose for the option with the demo data. So this data we are giving as that this is the model name, openacademy.course. This is the name. You see, this is the same name that we have given here. The same name that we are given here also, giving here. Okay, and we have to give a unique ID. It's a course 0, and field name. We are putting the title. You see the title one, the title that we have defined here. We are providing the value for that title, but we are not using the title here. We are using this name because that's the name of this field. The string is only used for the user interface. Okay, and the description, course 0's description, we can have multiple lines, just some description. And this one don't have the description. Okay, so same model, course 1, the name, and we can leave the description field as empty because it's not mandatory, but we cannot leave the name field as empty because it's record. So the record is by default true. So if you didn't provide any record attribute for a field, it will be by default it will be false. Okay, and the third one is Open Academy, same model, and course number 2, the course 2, description of course 2. So this is how we add demo data into the system. So when you have a big data, big table with a lot of fields, the element will be bigger. So it's a small one. That's why we have we able to create three records in the small space. So this content of this demo data files only loaded when we install the module or when we update the module. So we will get into that part. After making some changes, if you are making some changes, or you see if you altered any changes, you will have to update the module. Or if the module is already uninstalled, not installed, you will have to install the modules to get these changes updated in your table. So also we will have another option like no update is equal to 1. We will discuss that part later, so that the data files that we mentioned in this file will not be updated when we upgrade the module. So there is an option for that. We will discuss later. So we have the demo data. Now we have the demo data and an object. Now what we need is an action and menus. So we need a menu so that we can click on and go to that table and list those data that we have. So the action and menus are regular records, just like all that we have created now. This is it's a record that we have in our database. Just like this one, Odoo is keeping all the actions and menus and everything, the form views, tree views and search views, those kind of views, everything that we create for the user interface, everything is a recorded different records under different tables in the database. So these things, menus and actions, are declared using data files, just like we. created some demo data files for the course table, we are the same way we are creating the menus and actions. Okay. So the actions can be triggered using 3 ways: by clicking on a menu item, or clicking on a button in any forms or any views, or when we call in a contextual actions on a subject. So now the data that we have created for the course is under the model openacademy.course. So as I said just now, we are creating menus and actions, everything as a data file. So what will be the table, the model that these menus and actions will be stored? So the menus will be stored in the ir.ui.view menu. So we are going to create a menu item for our Open Academy. So I have already created some menus, menu item, main Open Academy menu, Open Academy, and the next one is menu item, Open Academy menu, Open Academy, and the parent is main Open Academy menu. So this menu will be under this the sub menu of this menu, and the course menu that we are creating for this opening this object, our table list. So this course menu comes under this parent Open Academy menu, this one. Okay, so there is an action that need to be triggered when we click on this course menu. That action is, the name is given here, course list action. The action is defined here, ir.action action window. This is the model. You can relate this record with the demo data that we have created here. You see the record model Open Academy course. The same format is used here, record model. The model name is different. Here the Open Academy.course, but here this ir.action window. The ID is given the course list action. We are also given this course 0, and there are some fields that we have to provide for the action table. So there will be differences because the table structure won't be the same for all the tables. So the action table have different table structure. So we are giving different data under that. So the courses, the name of the action is courses, and the related model is openacademy.course, and the view mode, that the different modes of views that we need for that object, business object, is tree and form. And this is the some help content that we have we need to show when there is no element, there is no data in that table. Okay, so we have the action. It's just like in demo data. It's a data element, and the menu item is also a data element, but it's declared in a different way. Okay, you see this menu item tag is used here, and the ID is given, and the name and parent. These are the attribute we have for menu item. There are a lot of attributes, other attributes are there, but this is the basic things that we must take care of. So we have the menu and the action. So our menu structure will be the Open Academy. Under that Open Academy, there will be another Open Academy. Under that Open Academy, we will have the courses menu. When we click on the courses, we will have the list of courses that we are defined in this demo.xml, if everything goes okay. Okay. So we have the demo file and the Open Academy XML. Now, this demo file and Open Academy file and everything we have to declare in our manifest file. Otherwise, system can access those files. So we have to see this views dot slash openacademy.xml. I put this openacademy.xml file. There we have defined our action and views under the manifest. See, under the data section, I have put this views slash openacademy.xml, and the demo section I have given demo slash demo.xml. This is a part of this file. Now we have model and some demo data, and we have a menu and actions. There is this is enough for showing those elements, that the object data we have in Odoo. But there is one more thing that we have to take care of, is a security. I am just showing this one now, and we will have that session in our coming days. So we will go through that in detail at that time. So we have this security. If you haven't provided any security, we cannot we will not be able to see this in the user interface. Okay, so I'm just adding so if I have ir.model.access.csv file, so it's also a data file, as we mentioned in the module components. So we have to mention this file also in the manifest, security.ir.model.access, and there's a security.xml file. There we define the user groups and kind of things. We will come to that part in the coming days. So we have created our model and menus, actions, demo data. Okay, so to bring this effect into our Odoo's system, Odoo project, we have to restart this service. Service is restarted. Now let's go to our apps. So when you go to your apps, this will be the window you will be getting. So what you have to do is you have to upgrade your data module list. So you have to go to the settings and activate developer mode. Now under the apps, I will have some more options. There you will have to run this method, module update app result. So I have to you will have to do this, because I already loaded my module list. That's why the Open Academy is already here, and I put this Academy filter here so that I won't have any problem with other apps. I just need this application, and we will need installing and uninstalling, upgrading this module again and again. So that's why I put some filter there. So we are going to install our application. Hope it won't throw any error. Okay, now we have successfully installed our small module with only single object, business object in the structure. You see, there's only a single path. That's why it's directly open the course list. This is the main menu. and we have the Open Academy under that menu, and under that there is courses. So there is no other path under that main menu. So it's by default, it's the course list is opened. The course 0, course 1, course 2, and everything is already preloaded into this database when we install the application. Okay, this simple thing, and this is the data that we have given. You see the title that we have given in the string, and in the you can see a black screen, a black window that is a development mode feature that shows the detail of that field. Everything that you show the point, you will have the detail. You see the description field. This is the name field, but the label is saying its title. Okay, so this is that we have done. Now we have created this small module. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to give some styles, user interface for this element. Okay, now first of all, we have the action. You may have noticed we mentioned that the view mode is tree and form. So we have different type of views. Tree views are there, and form views, Kanban view, list Gantt view, cohort view. Those kind of different views are there in Odoo. So first we are going through these basic views like a tree, form, and search. Okay, so tree views are also called list views. It is showing in the tabular form that we have just seen. This is the list view, and the root element of a list view is when we define a list view, the root element of the list view is tree. Okay. So the list element will, this is another model. Okay, I will open the view. It's a form view. Just copying another view and editing that to suit our Open Academy course. So this is the tree view. It's just like we mentioned in the data file case. It's also a record that saves the ir.ui.view. It will need a unique ID. and there is a name that we have to give, the course.tree. So it represents it's a tree view of the course object, and the object that we have to mention here, openacademy.course, it's a name of the object, openacademy.course. And the field here, the architecture, the tree view architecture is defined under this section. So the basic element of the tree view is tree, and we are giving a string, the course tree, and field name, and description. So what changes this will bring into our user interface, we can see. Now this tree view definition is something like this. Now we have a form view. Form view is this one is called form view. This is the tree view. When we click on this element, we will have a detailed view. This is called the form view, and we are going to design this. We are going to put some more interesting user interface for this one. So for that, we have this the same model is used. Every view is recorded in this table in the database, and the course form view is the ID given. The same model is given. Course.form is the name of this view, and the architecture fields.arc, as we just seen in the tree view, the same fields.arc type XML, and the form string we have given as course form, and the sheet group and everything. So this form view can have a basic HTML, pure HTML we can use in this form view. We will come to that part. So under this sheet, there are something that I have commented that we will uncomment in coming sessions. Now we have under the group, we have just given the field name, and field name description. So we have given these two fields that we have under this model. Okay, name and description. So please don't confuse about these commented areas. It's under this, just under this one, we have the sheet element closed, and the form field and everything. Now the record itself is fully closed. Okay, you can see everything is closed. Now we have defined this tree view and form view. Now it's already in the openacademy.xml file, so you don't have to update anything in the manifest or anything, but you have to update your as we just mentioned in the module structure field, that to update the database you will have to update the data update the data files. You have to reinstall the application, or you have to upgrade the application. So let's go to the apps and let's try to upgrade this one. Let's see what happened. Now we have the description field in this table itself. Okay, so we have given a description, we have included the description field in our tree definition. That's why it's coming here. And when we click on this one, you can see this more little more attractive user interface, like it was the fully separated view. It's a default view rendered by the Odoo. So now we have given a view. So in the technical, in the developer mode, you will have a small bug icon here. You can see this many data related to the user interface and everything. So you can see, you can check the edit view form, the structure that we have given there. You can see here, see the sheet, group, field name, description, other commented details, everything is loaded, but it's commented, that's why it won't work. and the model name that we have given, the name of the course, everything that you can see here. Just like this one, you can also check the tree view, edit view list, another name of the tree view. See this one. So we have given the tree view and form view for our object. Now what we have a search option here. You see the search option, it's a default loaded search option. It will only work with name now. Okay, you can see the 0. So we have description in these two elements, but I cannot search for a description now. Okay, you see the search title for description only. We can search with title. So also we have the filters and group by kind of things we have here, and we don't have any options, that is predefined options here. In other applications, you can see in this employee, you will have unread messages, archived articles, the group by manager, department, jobs, and when you try to search, you will have different options. You see the employees, you can search by employee or search by tag or search by job position. So how we can we are going to define this option, the search option for our course. So again, it's the same as other tree view or form view. It's also an element under the ir.ui.view. It's also added and declared as a data element, just like the demo data and the actions and the tree views and kind of things. The same, you see the model is given as ir.ui.view. We have given a different ID, course search view. Okay, the name is given as course.search. Open Academy's course is the same because it's all are for the course object. And under the architect, we are over search, field name description. So what will happen? Let's check what the changes this search view, adding this search view into the this module will make in our user interface. We haven't added any filter or group by options. We are just given a search option. Now we are just typing. You see this description is coming now. Okay, you can search with the description also now. You see, we have this term in this descriptions of both these courses. That's why these two are coming. So this is a basic level. We will go in detail in next days about the search view and how we can add filters and group by kind of things. Okay. Now we only have one single object, and we have the menus to access that object, and we have given the form view, tree view, and search view for that object. Now in our any application, we will have different objects. In an academy, in this case, we now we have a course, we will have students, and we will have teachers. Kind of different objects will be there, and we need some more objects in our application. So now we are going to create another object. So under the models, we have already put the session object. So it's called Open Academy session. The description is given: Academy session, the name, start date, duration, seats. So you can see the help attribute, duration in days, and the name is mandatory, date is not mandatory, and the seeds and the string, it will be number of seeds. Okay, so we have added a new object in our models.py. Now what we have to do is we have to give some menu and views, action, those kind of things for this session object. Okay, now for courses, we created menu item Open Academy already, and the Open Academy is the sub menu is already created, and the courses is given under this main Open Academy menu. The Open Academy menu. Now we are creating this course and session under this Open Academy menu. Okay, now this is our menu item, session menu, name sessions, parent, Open Academy menu, session list action. So we need an action with this name, so that this, when we click on this menu item, it will trigger. We need this name, an action with this name. So we have an action, the same name, just like our course action. It's also an element in IAR dot actions dot action window. ID, we have given session list action, the name is given as sessions, and the object, the rest model is Open Academy dot session, and the view mode we have given as tree form. So we have more fields than the course in this session object. We have name and description under the course. Now in the session, we have name, start date, duration, and seats. Now we are providing the list view, that means the tree view. Okay, just same as other tree view that we have defined for the course. So instead of the course, we just put the session. Okay, session tree view, session tree, Open Academy session, and under the architecture we given as session tree, name, and course ID. So we will get back to this course ID. Now we just keep it as name only. We'll come to that course ID soon. And next thing we need is a form view. So the form view have the same structure: ir.ui.view session, the ID is given, name is given, the model is same as the tree view, Open Academy session. Under the architecture we have the form, under the form we have the sheets, under the groups we have the name, start date, duration, seats, everything, and the group is closed. Okay, now we have tree, and we have menu, we have form, we have action. Okay, we haven't created the access for that item. Let's copy this one. We will come to the security session, don't worry. Now just everything that we have given for the course we are already given for the session. Okay, now this Open Academy and everything is already defined in the manifest. Okay, I would like to say something about this models.py and openacademy.xml. So it's a common name. Okay, so if you are doing a real production or creating your own application for a business purpose, I suggest you go with the name of the object itself instead of models.py. It will be always better you go with the sale order or something like that. Okay, when you do things like that, you can see, you can take the example. It will be easy if you follow the Odoo standards and Odoo's example. You can see this, everything is not under the models.py. They splitted everything into different files so that it will be easy to navigate into the file and check the content, everything. So this is account, and they have different objects under this account file, but they have split it into many small pieces. Okay, the entire module they have split it into small pieces. Now they have the analytic account and everything, account payment, account move, you see the partner, product, everything is different files, different py files. And what you have to do is you have to just mention those names under this init.py file. That's all. Then there is no difference. It will be more easy for you to check the code and everything. Instead of using this models.py, we are creating a small app, the small module. That's why we are using this models.py that is auto-generated by Scaffold. Okay, same as here. You can see under the views, account.xml, account analytic view.xml. They have kept different files, different XML files for defining views of different objects. So it's a good practice. It will be better if you follow that. Okay. Now we have the Open Academy in the same file. If we are having different files for the Open Academy session and different file for Open Academy.courses, you will have to define those files under this manifest. Okay, just like we mentioned about the models.py, you have to you will have to define those files in the manifest. So these things are done. Now we go to the we have made some changes in this Python file, so we have to restart the service. Otherwise the compilation won't work, so you have to restart the service. If you have made any changes in the XML, you just have to upgrade the app. If you have made any changes in the Python, you have to restart the service and go to the apps and upgrade. Let's see what happened. We have the Open Academy. Yes, we have the courses and sessions. Under the session, we don't put any demo data, so we don't have any data. In the access rights, we have given the create access, so we don't have the create button here. Let's change this settings of access. Open Academy Manager, I have given the access. Open Academy Manager. We will discuss about this part, don't worry. The access level and group kind of things we will discuss, and how we can give those access rights to our objects and views. We will discuss that part. Now you can see these courses, we have the create and import option. Under the sessions also you will have create and import option. Okay, when you click on this create, you see the name, start date, duration, number of seats. These are the elements that we have given. So the label, you can see the field name that we have given is seats. Now the label that we have here is the number of seats. The help you are getting here, duration in days. The help thing that you have given under your field definition, duration in days. You can see that when you point to that field, duration in days. So any help tooltip that you want to give about a field, you can give as a help attribute, value of a help attribute. Now we have two objects, and what we are going to discuss now is how we can relate these two objects. Okay, so Odoo have some relational fields. Relational fields link in different records. It can be some from different models or from the same model. Okay, like hierarchical structure, or connecting with the different same elements in the different elements in the same models. We can connect two students or two customers, and you can connect a course with different sessions, and a subject with a teacher, a student with a class, kind of things. So different level of relational fields are there. So we have three different relational fields in Odoo. One is called many-to-one relation, and either one is one-to-many, next one is many-to-many. So we have three different type of relational fields: many-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. Okay, so many-to-one is a symbol link to other object. We can simply link one object from one project to another object. And one-to-many is a virtual relationship. It's a not a direct relation. It's a virtual relationship. It's just opposite of many-to-many. One-to-many behaves as a container. Okay, it's a container of records accessing under a different record. Okay, this is something like we will have different sessions for a single course, and we will have multiple students under a class. Okay, just like that. Okay, for a class you will have a different subjects, and if we take an normal example, under the sale order you will have different product lines. Okay, order lines, you will have different order lines. So that's one-to-many. If we say example for many-to-one, it is a connection with a sale order with a customer. Okay, so a sale order will have only one customer, but a sale order will have multiple product order lines. Okay, so that's a difference between many-to-one and one-to-many. The another thing is many-to-many. So it's a bidirectional multiple relationship. So any record on one side can be related to any number of other records. Let's check our slide. So this is the relation many to one. Okay, each invoice line will have a invoice ID. Okay, so same ID. Each invoice line can have only one invoice ID, not multiple one. So just opposite is the one to many. Okay, one invoice can have multiple invoice lines. So this is the third one, many to many. So if we are associating the given example, the products and taxes, a single product can have multiple taxes like sales or other kind of things, and in different countries or in different areas it will have different taxes, and the same tax can be applicable for different products also. I hope you get the point. Okay, so it's a bidirectional multiple relationship. Any record from one side can be related to any number of records on the other side. So how Odoo is handling this thing is they keep a container in between. Okay, so there will be product ID and tax ID, product ID, tax ID again and again. Okay, so there is a structure that the Odoo automatically keeps in between. So now we are applying this relation mechanism into our Open Academy module. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are using a many to one field and modify the session and course models to reflect the relation between these course and session models. So let's go back to our pie chart. We are going to give a responsible field under our course ID, course model. Okay, is taken from it's a relational field, many to one field. So we have to provide to which model we are going to connect. Okay, so this course is connecting with another table, another model, another object, you can say. This is the connection that we are going to make. So this invoice line will have a connection with a invoice. So that's what we are going to do. So we are making a responsible for this course. So that will be picked from our users table. It's called restore to users. And what will happen when we delete this record kind of things are given in the on delete, and string is responsible, index is equal to true. So it will create a database index. So we have connected this Open Academy course with the restore to users. Now we are going to connect the sessions with the restored partner. It's a customer table that we have in Odoo by default. So it's a restored partner. It's a many to one, just like responsible ID in the course, but different tables. Okay, it's connected with the users and it's connected with the partner, and we are giving one more field for the sessions. It's called course ID, So the course ID is connected with our Open Academy course. So we are going to connect this session with this course table. It's a mini to one Open Academy course, cascade, string, and everything. Then now we have to make some changes in our user interface to accommodate these fields. Okay, let's go to our Open Academy. We don't need this. Let's comment this one and uncomment this one. Responsible. Okay, instead of this description, it's more important, and we are taking that description field under a notebook. So you will see what will happen when we use this kind of tags in our form. Okay, we have moved our description under a notebook and page. Okay, so description now lies here. So that's it. We have made changes for our course. And under our disk tree field also, we are just remove this tree. So the same, there's no changes. We had another set of copy, that's why I deleted it. So we add a responsible ID. So when we take our course, now it's the course is having description in this column. So instead of the description, now we have a more important data. It's a description. It's a responsible. So we are putting that data on the table. A search is also given. We can add the responsible also in the search if we want. Now the course section is completed. Now we are going to the sessions and making some changes. We don't need those things. Just we put those fields to under different groups. Now the course ID is here, name is here, instructor is here. You see the course name, start, duration, seats, instructor, and everything. And we have the course ID, name, instructor, schedule. Under the schedule group, we have the start date, duration, and seats. Okay. Under the tree view, we are adding the course ID. Now in our table, you will have the name and course. So we have made some changes in our models and OpenAcademy.xml. So we have to restart and update our module. Now you see these courses. We have the responsible field here. The title is here. The responsible is given under the title, and description is moved under the a notebook. This is why we use the notebook there, and the page, this is one page, it's another page. You see the difference. It's a page description, and the field description is given under that page, and there is an about page we have given. This is an example of note. So first simple example. Okay, you can create different structures like this. You will have different examples in original Odoo source code, and different examples for these kind of things. You can see under the sales and under the invoice and everything, you can see these kind of notebooks. So you can refer for further experiments in these areas in Odoo, Odoo source code itself. So you can, if you want to edit the description, you can add. Okay, and it's a non-editable content. And if you can add different responsible, it's taken from other table. You can point this label, then you can see the details like field, responsible ID, object. It's in openacademy.course. Type of the field is many to one, and then is a domain or content, font-based or thing that we will come to know in coming sessions. The relation, that's important, it's restored users. So that's a relation that we have given here under our model definition, the object definition, responsible ID, restored users. So the responsible drop down is taking data from restored users. Okay, yeah, we can save this data. Yes. Under the sessions, what happened? Okay, now we have name and course. We can create a new session. You can select the course. You see the courses that we have created using the demo data files are listed here. We can select this course 0. We can check the detail of that course, the name of the course, name of the session. You can select an instructor. You see all the customer records that we have, the partner records we have in the system is listed here. You can see the instructor details, instructor field details, instructor ID, relation is restored partner, and the start date and everything. So we made the form view little more attractive. We put the details into 2 different sections, general and schedule. So what we have done for this is we added 2 more groups in our view definition. Okay, we added, it was simply under this group, the name and start date, duration and everything. So what we have done is we changed and replaced those items along with the course ID and instructor ID under some different groups. The groups are named as group string general, that you can see under the general, and the schedule, start date, duration and seats, you can see under the schedules. So now we have made the data into 2 different sessions. So those kind of changes that you can make on the form view. view representation. You can have different kind of representation like that we have seen the notebook structure under the course. Now we have created relation between the course and session. Now what we are going to do is, now everything is many to one. We have only used the many to one option. We have two more options remaining. One is one to many and many to many. Okay. So when we in our one to many, what we are going to do is we already mentioned that it's a inverse relation of many to one. So we are going to change the relation between course and session. Okay, modify the models with that with some new attributes. Okay, so under the responsible, we are adding session IDs. Now under the session, we are already selecting a course. So there is a relation between course and session. Now we are adding another relation, that is session IDs. It's just an inverse relation of many to one that we are already provided here. You see, this many to one is connecting the Open Academy course, and the one to many is just connecting the Open Academy session, just opposite. And we have to provide one more data in this case, in the one to many case. It's the field that connects the session object with the course. It's a course ID that you have to provide so that database can track the file, track the reports, track the relation. Okay, this Open Academy session and the course ID is the field that they are used to make this relation, one to many relation. I hope you have the picture in mind. This is the one to many relation. So in the invoice lines, what Odoo is doing is Odoo is keeping the ID of the invoice in each invoice lines that is created, that is connected with this, related with this invoice object. So in each invoice object that is related with this invoice will have an ID of this invoice. The session IDs is added under the course model, and we have to make some changes to accommodate those changes into our view. So we are adding another page under the course. It's called sessions. The field name is given as session IDs. Now you have a new thing under here. You see, under that session IDs field, we have put a small tree view. Okay, so I can give a string for that session, that tree view, and these two things, name and instructor ID, are the fields that we have under this session object. I hope you remember that. So this name and instructor ID are the fields that we have under this session object. So session IDs are connecting with Open Academy session, and under the course form view we are adding a small tree view of the sessions that are related with the same course. So in that tree we are going to show the name and instructor ID of those sessions that are related with that course. So what we made is we have created a one-to-many field under our course that is related to Open Academy session object, and it refers to the course ID, and the string is given as sessions. And under our form view we created a new page for the sessions, and we mentioned the field name, session IDs. Under that, inside that field definition, we just put a small tree view of that session. Okay, let's check what changes that brings to our application. So as I have already put a filter here, I can easily go to my Open Academy module and update. If you don't put a filter like this, you will have to search for this application. Okay, to make it easier, that's why I put a filter here. So it's easy for me. Okay, now we have the course. You see a new session, new page is enter this form view, this session object, and in between the description and about, you can see the name of the session that we have created just before, some minutes before. Okay, the name and the instructor details you can see. If you want to click on this, it will open up the form view of that session. The course 0, name session 1, course 0, instructor Azure interior, start date and everything. So I can add more sessions. See, I created one more session. If I go to the session table, the saving this one, I can see 2 sessions. See, under the course. Okay, so this is how our one-to-many relationship works. The session, you have this. Now we have created a one-to-many relationship. Next thing that we have in our relationship between models is many-to-many relationship that we mentioned. It's a bi-directional multiple relationship. Okay, so what as an example, what we are going to do is we are going to create some attendees. So attendees will be there in many sessions. Okay, the same person can attend different sessions, and each session will have different multiple attendees. So the relation will be multiple in both direction. A attendee can attend multiple sessions, and the session can have multiple attendees. So that relation between the objects, relation between the table will be multiple bidirectional relationship. That's what we are going to make now. So I hope you have that picture in mind. This is the relation that we are going to make. Okay. Let's go back to our models. I have already added the attendees. So the attendee IDs, we have given many to many, and the relation is restored partner. Okay, just like our instructor ID, it's also connected with the restored partner, but it's the difference is one is many to one, and this one is many to many, and the string is given as attendees. So now we are going to make some changes in our user interface by putting some changes, making some changes here under the sheet. We are till now we haven't used this one, this element. Till now we haven't used it. We just give the field name, course ID and everything. Now we have put a different thing before the attendee IDs. Okay, just keep in mind and find out what the change it will bring in your user interface. Okay, so what we have done is we have added a new element, label, and the attribute 4 is the value of the 4 is attendee IDs. Then our new field under our sessions, the attendee IDs, and again we put the field name attendee IDs. So instead of just putting the field name attendee IDs, we added one more thing, label for attendee IDs. So we are putting a different kind of approaches in this small examples itself. We can just simply add the field name attendee IDs also, but you see you can see the changes. Let's restart the application service. Okay, then go back to our Odoo apps. Let's update. Let's go to Open Academy. For the sessions, what we have is we have attendees and symbol table or with the name, phone and emails. We haven't defined this tree view because it's already defined in Odoo, basic Odoo, so that's why it comes. And we can add multiple partners. Okay, Gemini Furniture we added. We added Azure Interior, Reco Edit, Gemini Furniture, 3 partners under this session 2.0, and we can add same people under another session, or we can add more than that. So this Azure Interior have two sessions, session 1 and session 2. And this session 1 have multiple attendees. They have Azure Interior, Decor Audit, Gemini Furniture, Lumber Incorporation, and everything. So this is how the relation many to many works. So you may haven't get why we added the label. Okay, so this is our label for attendees. Okay, if we have it given the label here, there won't be that term, that attendees name will not be there present. So let's see what if we haven't given the label there. You see, there is no attendee's name. So when we put the many to many field, just like any other field, there won't be any labels. That's why we are using the label tag to define the label for that field. So if you put the label, it will take the value, the string that we have given as a string in under the field definition. They will take that field and it will show there. And there are another type of representation. Let's see our sessions. Okay, since the attendees. Okay, our widget didn't work, so we can check that later. So today what we have covered is we have covered the basic module structure, how we can first we have covered how we can configure the PyCharm and how we can add our project and run those projects in PyCharm, and we go through the module structure. What are the things that we have in module? The business objects, business object views, and the data files and everything, the components of that modules, and the web controllers, static data, those kind of things that we have covered, and the add-ons path and manifest file and everything, and the object relational model ORM and model fields, three kind of different fields, common attribute of these fields, and sample reserved fields and special fields kind of things, and action and menus, data files, those things we have covered, and the basic views, how we can create new basic views like trees, form view, search view. These things we have covered. We will go in detail about those views in coming days. Okay, and other thing that we have given is relation between the models. So relational fields like one to many, many to many, and many to one. Okay, so next thing that we are going to show is the security that we have already just mentioned in the in our sometimes before. Okay, the security function. The security is a data file, but it's not XML. It's a CSV file that we can use to import different elements, like every access security rules that are stored in our ir.model access table of Odoo. So we use the CSV file to import data into that table. So you may have a simple idea, you may have got simple idea by reading this content. So there's a ID, name, model, ID, group ID, permission read, permission write, permission create, permission unlink, kind of things. So let's talk about security. So we have to strictly give the security levels in our module. Otherwise, the data that you are going to store in the table, or you may lose the data, you may leak the data. So there is different level of security. Odoo is using the group-based access control mechanism. So groups are created just like we create in other records, like when we create a course kind of things, we just create groups like that, and it's stored in restored group model and granted menu access and views action. We can give the option and access and granted menu access via menu definition. We can without a menu, objects may still be accessible. Okay, so with the API, we have Odoo have APIs. The menus can be the object can be accessed with the APIs. We don't need a menu, but we can secure our application, our data, by providing access to our menus, and also we can set access and object level permission like read, write, create, unlink. It is also based on the groups, and they're usually inserted in a CSV file like this. Okay, inside each modules. Also, we can restrict access to specific fields on views, like if you don't want to show the attendees for a specific group of users. In our current example, if you don't want to show this detail for a specific group of users, we can hide it by using this group. So the access rights are defined as records of model ir.model access. Okay, that's why this file have the name ir.model access. So, and .csv is the file extension. Each access right that we are going to define will be related to a model. Okay, so here you can see the first line is the representation for what the below lines are. So ID, name, model ID, kind of things that is going to be defined under here. That's why they put the column head. You can see the column header there. So this is the ID, this is the name, course manager, and this is the model Open Academy _ course. So there is some difference when we mention the model in access rights, and when we give the model name here, you see the session, and the Open Academy course, it is Open Academy .course. here it's given as model underscore open academy underscore scores. And next thing we have to give is the group, to which group we are going to give the access. Okay, then what are the accesses we are going to give? Is it permission to read? That's what they mentioned here. Permission to read, permission to write, permission to create, permission to unlink. Unlink means delete. Okay, so such access rights are usually created in CSV file, and it should be named ir.model.access.csv. Or you can also create this same with the XML file, but it will be more easy. Okay. So this is how we give the access right to a model. So the same model I have given for the read permission only for other users, like you see the course read all. So everyone can't read course. Okay, but the Open Academy manager can only have other permissions, like edit the course, or permission to create the course, create a new course, permission to unlink the course, delete the existing course. So all other user groups can just read the course data. Okay, same as the sessions. We have given the permission for Open Academy manager, permission to read, write, create and delete. All others can just read the existing data. They cannot alter the data that we have in this that model. That's why when we first installed the application, we didn't have the option to create or import or anything. So I can show you that again. Under settings, we have user. This is Michael admin. He has access to the Open Academy manager. Now we have a Mark demo. You don't have any access to this one. Okay, just to give access to the employees. Okay. Let's make him administrator in employees, but we haven't given anything in Open Academy. Okay, so he is administrator in employees, but he don't have access to Open Academy. Let's change the password, something easier. Okay, log out. See, he have access to Open Academy. He can go everywhere he wants, but he cannot make any changes. You don't have edit access. See, he can just read everything, but he cannot make any changes under this Open Academy. Let's go back to our admin account. Settings, users. Now you have seen the difference. Both user have the difference. What are the difference they have? Now, what happened in our technical side as a developer? You have to know this developer mode have some features that we can play with. Okay, it's I will show you the models. At the first I mentioned everything is stored as objects in our database. The models that we are creating, views that we are creating, menus that we are creating, actions, users, access rights, groups, everything is stored in the database as objects. Okay, let's check. Actions. This is a table. You can see the table details, the name, ir.action actions. Sorry, window action, that's what our object is. We have different actions, we will come to that. Okay, so you see the object ir.actions.action window. That's the object that this element is saved in that table. So you can check that with our view of action definition. You see the model is given as ir.action action window. That's the same thing that you can see here. ir.action action window. The same thing that you can see here also. ir.action action window. The ID, the database ID of this record. So where is our actions? Let's check. You see the courses and sessions. The details that we have given is saved in the database. Action type, ir.action action window, the model, object, Open Academy course, tree, view mode, tree and form. You see tree, form, everything is saved in the database. And the views, let's check. Under the views, or before that we can go to the menu items. Okay, yeah, the Open Academy, the main menu that we see on our home page. Open Academy, it have submenu Open Academy. That's the thing we have here, Open Academy / Open Academy. So under that we have two submenus, one is course and sessions. Everything is saved. Everything is saved in a database, in our database in respective modes. So we have seen the menus and actions. Now it's the time for the views. Sorry, I didn't slide this. Okay. Oh shit. There you are. So we have the course form, course search, course tree, course session. Sorry, session form, session tree. So if you want to look into the code, you can see the code here. Academic course and the structure that we have given. Everything is saved in the database. Okay. Now we have another mechanism also in the security. It's called record roles. It's different level of access rights. I will explain with a real example. So you have a sales team and you have a lot of leads. And once you assign a lead to a salesperson, you can see all the leads, but the other salesperson cannot see other salesperson's leads. Okay, so salespersons cannot see others leads. So it's the same table. The leads are all the leads are saved in the same table, but the assigned person can only see those leads that are assigned to him. Okay, if you have a salesperson A, he can only see the leads that are assigned to him. He cannot see others' leads. And in some cases, you may have to hide the customer's details. Example like that. Okay, so those kind of access levels, we use the record rules. So let's create a record rule. Okay, so in our case, we have put a record rule. This is a record rule, just like we mentioned. It's also saved in a database. The table that record rules are saved is ir.rules, and we have given the ID and some data that are required for a record rule, the name, the model ID, the Open Academy course, and groups. Okay, which group this one is applicable for. So permission read, permission write, permission create 0, permission unlink 1, field name domain force responsible ID is equal to false, or responsible ID is equal to user.id. So what it means? It means only responsible can modify the course. So if I am a responsible of a course, I can modify that course. Others cannot modify my courses that I am responsible of. Okay, only I can modify the course that I am responsible of. So I will have access to edit the course and delete the course. I will not have access to create a new course. I will not have access to read others' courses. Okay, let's check what will happen. So I can see the responsible. Course 1. Yes. Let's check again. The academy.course. We have responsible is equal to false, or responsible is equal to user.id. Okay. see what happened to our record rule settings. It will be loaded if everything is fine. Yes, still. Now open. What happened? Okay. Yeah. Yes, okay. We have the access rights and everything. Open Academy. Of course, you can delete it or not. Yes, you see, I cannot delete this. Open Academy course was rejected because of the following rule. Only responsible can modify the course. So this level of record level, it's not the table level. Okay, it's not the object level. It's each record we can define different access level. That's the use of record rules we are using. Okay, it's another data element that we can use. We can create as an XML element, and it will be loaded into Odoo. So these are the options that we have to give it. We have to give an ID, and the model name is ir.role. It should be always the ir.role, and the name that we can give as we wish. The model ID on which model we are going to give this control. So it's same like we have seen in this ir.model.access file is the model._openacademy.course. So same way you have to define the model here, model_openacademy_course. So the groups, you can leave the groups as empty, or you can mention a specific group. So what will happen is, you can see here in the record rules, if you provide a group, that record rule will be only applicable for those groups. Others will not have any effect on the based on because of that group. Okay, responsible, that's what. Yeah, okay. So this will be checked. If we haven't given any groups, the global will be marked. So what will happen if we haven't given any groups? No groups is equal to global. So what will happen? We can see that in the rule tip. If no group is specified, the rule is global and applied to everyone. Every user in the application will be under this record rule. This record will be applicable for every user. If you are specifying any special group, this record rule will be only applicable for those groups. Okay, and you can see get more details about this thing, interaction between rules. If you have multiple record rules on the same record, same table, just like if we have multiple records on the course, then how they will interact. Okay, that rules you can see here, that kind of definition. So it's under the technical and ir.rules. Now we have covered basic things that we needed. Now in the coming days we will go through the other structures like inheritance, how we can change the existing tables that we already have in Odoo. Like if you want to add some add some fields in the sale order or an employee field, how we can do that without directly editing the source code of Odoo. We can just create a module and install those module, and these changes will be updated into the employee field. Those kind of changes, how we can do those kind of things, that's what we are going to explain tomorrow. And the wizards, okay, those things are we are going to explain. So I hope everyone was clear, and please put your queries into odoo@cybrosys.com so that we can reply to your queries. It's not it's not possible to address all your queries in this time of presenting this session. So we will try to address all your queries. Please send your queries to odoo@cybrosys.com as email. We will try to address all your queries. I hope you understood the session, and I hope we can join tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day.
If you are interested in knowing more about this or looking for any Odoo implementation or customization in your business, drop your request to info@cybrosys.com.